Hello and welcome back to the App Wizard channel. This is Power Up, the series where we check the best free games you can download on your mobile device. Today we start off with Astracraft. So sometimes even I am surprised by the level of games that you can nowadays get on mobile devices. It is proof that creating a mobile game to a high level is absolutely possible. Astracraft lets you build your own battlecraft and face other players in an arena to see who's the best builder and pilot. The amount of flexibility you are given here is stunning. You can build the most outrageous machine created just to destroy your enemies in every way possible, or you can choose the way of beauty and create a sleek looking craft just to show off. The game allows different modes, and while some are dedicated to battle and destruction, others are more to show off your creativity, and trust me, there are some really creative people out there. You will definitely not get bored playing this one, and if you are into building or destroying, this is definitely different from most of the apps you can find to download nowadays. It is free on Android and iOS. Next one we have Battlepalooza. So despite the weird name, this is a top-down battle royale now. The style itself is nothing new. We have seen this reproduced on mobile devices with varying levels of success, like we'll see later in this video. But Battlepalooza has some real potential. The gameplay is really special. You can select different heroes with different abilities, but they do not have a particular weapon. You instead collect weapons on the battlefield and combine them with your ability to defeat your enemies, while yourself trying to survive for as long as possible. Your abilities are on a relatively long cooldown, so that can make the game feel a little bit boring, especially since the map is quite big. I would have preferred if the map was slightly smaller to force player encounters. But I also understand that the game is fairly new and not many people are playing it yet. And yeah, as I said, it has potential. It has decent graphics and interesting characters and gameplay. Hopefully it gains some traction and they keep improving it. Battlepalooza is free on Android only right now. Next up we have Cookie Run Kingdom. Alright, it's always time for some delicious cuteness, and all those of today are brought to you by Cookie Run Kingdom. So do not be fooled by the colorful graphics, the funny story and cute characters. This is a very serious story-driven quasi-RPG. The story is, after the Cookie Kingdom was destroyed in a battle against evil, you are tasked with rebuilding it alongside some friends. So the combat system here is surprisingly quick and entertaining with some great animation. During your journey, you will be joined by different characters, and each of them will have their own style and abilities. Before each battle, you have the opportunity to place them on a grid as to strategically use their abilities to win the upcoming fights. But it is not all fighting though, because remember when I said that you had to build the kingdom, I was literal. You start by building your little home and then go on and rebuild each piece of the Cookie Kingdom. It's an absolutely fantastic game with a lot of care put in it. It is funny and has an interesting story, endearing characters and long hours of playing ahead. Catch Cookie Kingdom for free on iOS and Android right now. Coming up next we have Epic Conquest 2, and speaking of RPGs, here is one that will give you some nostalgic feelings, as it is one of the best role-playing games you can get on mobile right now. It is very story driven, and the aim here is clearly to immerse the player in this universe, where you start as a rookie knight taking missions to help villagers, patiently waiting or rather impatiently waiting for your big quest to happen, and do not worry, it will happen fairly soon. You will go through various events, improving your skills and abilities, managing your inventory and weapons, accompanied by side characters. Speaking of characters, as I said, this game is very story driven and the characters are fairly attaching. If you like long dialogues and conversations in your game, then you are in for a treat. Graphically speaking, it is high quality with some obviously purposeful old school vibes to it. It's a risky move, but they pulled it off nicely and the game looks pretty in my opinion. The game is also offline, so it will be useful while playing during my commute to work or quietly on my sofa in the evening with some tea and some blankets. I think I need some vacations, but anyway, Epic Conquest is only available on Android right now. Get it. Next up we have FOG Battle Royale. I hesitated to call this FOG Battle Royale, but it was all capitals. I'm confused. Let's just call it FOG. FOG Battle Royale is, remember when we talked about top-down Battle Royales getting varying levels of success? Well, this in my opinion is one of the best looking. It is definitely one that has the most potential here, and I think it can become the next big thing on mobile. FOG Battle Royale lets you choose a starting class, and after a quick training against AI, it will throw you on the map with other players to fend for yourself. The tutorial is minimal, but to be fair, the controls are fairly intuitive. You have just to collect weapons, many weapons, from bows to swords to axes and spears, but no guns or any other kind of firearm here. You will find different potions, some will heal you, others will speed you up or even make you invisible, and the gear that you collect will increase or decrease your stats like your attack, defense, speed and others. But you are not stuck with one class though, you can unlock other classes to play with, and the whole point is combining your abilities with the right weapons to gain an advantage against your enemies. You can also equip your character with some gear outside of the game itself, although at this point I'm not sure if it is purely cosmetic or if it will affect your performance. Graphically, it is very well done. I like how it runs smoothly, given that of course you have a decent internet connection. And let's be honest, it surprisingly looks like some other famous battle royale that we all know about when it comes to graphical aspects. But do not worry, as I explained earlier, this game does things different. And that is why I think it could be a big thing if managed well. FOG Battle Royale is free right now on Android and iOS. The next game we have is Ninja Arashi 2. So Ninja Arashi is back and I absolutely loved the first version of this platformer. It was simple but very interesting. I loved the fact that it was playable offline and was very story driven while presenting some challenge to it. And for the second chapter it is all the same, made with the same passion. We continue the story of Arashi as he goes to find his son's kidnapper. New environment, some new powers, but the same smooth gameplay. This one is a good time killer and an easy recommendation. Ninja Arashi 2 is free on Android. Coming up next we have Omniog, the card game. So you know I love me some card games, and if you are a fan of popular MOBA Omniog, you will definitely enjoy this one. So it is card games at their simplest when it comes to animations. The rules are a bit different from other games as they should be, but to be honest, I think you'll spend most of your time in the dialogues leading to the actual battles. There are long exchanges between characters to justify, I guess, the fact that they are confronting each other. If, like me, you get quickly bored by long dialogues, you can skip them and get to the real deal. Here, you will find a fairly complex card system and it will definitely take you some learning to properly understand all the little strategies and tricks you can use to defeat your enemies. You will find here some familiar characters and a graphically pleasant game, voice acted, subtitles, and the whole package. Omniog, the card game, is free on iOS and Android. Coming up next, we have Ronin the Last Samurai. So this is a favorite of mine. This game will test your reflexes while plunging you in a graphically striking environment. I really like the way it looks like ink painting, and it will give you that feeling of an epic story being told. Although the black and white graphics might distract you, please do not forget that this game is very challenging. So I play this one for the difficulty, as you face different type of enemies, from sword bearing to spear wielding to gun shooters. Here every level is a challenge and will be totally different from the previous, even if you just died and you are just trying again. The game is a great time killer, but I will not recommend it if you lack patience, as it is very difficult and can be very frustrating too. But if you feel up to the challenge, you can play Ronin the Last Samurai for free on iOS and Android. We are getting close to the end, and now we have Shadowhunter, and this game is really special to me because I absolutely love hack and slash games. I definitely play tons of 2D hack and slash on mobile devices, and this one will take you through a dark gothic universe as you slash through waves of foes one level after another. What I love here is the flexibility that's available to you, as you can use any skill after another, giving you the opportunity to perform some impressive combos. You can equip your characters with armor, helmets and boots, as well as different swords that you collect during your adventures. There is a short skill tree that keeps you interested in unlocking new abilities while not being so large that it overwhelms you. There are different game modes, and I particularly like the fact that you can play against bosses you previously faced in a boss mode. The game encourages you to speedrun it, as there is a timer that calculates the time you spend on every level, so feel free to replay the levels to try to best your score. The only thing that bothered me about this game is the sound design, as the only sound you will hear here are your steps and the sword slashing through growling enemies. There is no ambient sound or music, and it can get pretty dull, I admit. Other than that, you can enjoy this beautiful South-like hack and slash for free on Android. And finally, we have Stella Arcana. So there are countless RPGs on mobile with varying levels of quality, and I must admit most of them are just clones of one another, seemingly just copying the graphic style and gameplay down to the character class and customization. I have featured a few one of those on this channel, and I got tired of seeing the same thing over and over. Needless to say that Stella Arcana is a breath of fresh air, as it does things totally different. As an RPG, of course, it follows the rules, and it will give you the choice to choose different characters or different classes depending on your style, but the differences will strike you at first glance. First off, graphically, it is very different. Steering away from the realistic graphics, Stella Arcana opts for a neo-cartoony style with lush colors and almost chibi-like characters. The other interesting aspect, and perhaps the most important, is the fact that the game is very story driven, with a carefully written adventure that has some humoristic tones to it. It will keep you playing while not taking itself too seriously. Apart from the attaching cast of side characters, you'd find yourself adventuring with other players, as there is an active community that will help you to either farm or raid. There is a solid skill tree for your characters, and you can equip them with runes, armors and weapons to fit your playing style and the challenges you are facing. Stella Arcana is an easy recommendation, definitely my top game this year so far. I strongly recommend it. You can get it now for free on iOS and Android. And that was it for 10 free games for January. I hope you enjoyed. Toss a like if you did, or a dislike if you did not. Subscribe for more, and see you next time. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay strong.